So, Belia. Belia, ano yung role last time? Anong role ni Belia? We have also Belia, part of the Finance Committee, Local Finance Committee. So we are four, part of the interview here today. And of course, your team na nandito sila tutukoy.
So, makita, nasa ano pala ako, marginally. So, for the, actually, ito yung bagong collab dev team. Of course, si Jake, si Jake was part of the team working on the localizing industrial development planning. Si Maymay is a new volunteer. Si Annie is now focal person for the collab dev in Tolosa and Tanawan, but she used to be with us sa localizing industrial development planning team. Together as now is front bridge of BSU Tolosa. So he came because he was very interested to continue in the chapter contribution for the book. So kaway. So they will know you. So thank you.
Okay, sige. Sige, maraming salamat. So what I want to do now is share my screen so that we can refresh everybody's memories about the project. So it's like a review ang sinabi ko dito. Baka siguro ang gawin natin ay pag ganito, Clark, one word lang, a look back o two words pa rin? One word. Okay. So we just want to look back on the localizing industrial development planning projects. And i-complete ko na to. Yeah. And which we were very lucky to have Tolosa, Leyte, and Salcedo Eastern Samar as partners. So i-review ko lang that there were two phases to the project. We started in the last quarter of 2014. So this was even before siguro mga 6 months after Yolanda, but we've had formal agreements with Tolosa and Salcedo around August na, that we started the scoping mga around April. But there were two phases. Phase 1 was from 2014 until 2015, so it's the first year. And then the second phase is the entire of 2016. Yung phase 1, we have what we call modules. We call these modules, but these are not teaching modules, but we have the research module, the strategy paper module, the linkages, the facilitation and linkages module, and the project development module. So basically, the idea of the project kasi is post-Hayan or post-Yolanda, how can we help Tolosa and Salcedo build back better by introducing certain elements and concepts and ideas on industrial development planning. And we already we discussed this with you na we thought it was parang working on a municipality level was too small, and we wanted sana at least provincial or regional. Pero because we were in partnership with Christian Aid also, and Tolosa and Salcedo were your Christian Aid was the development support partner for the entire Yolanda sort of regime or schema, yung sabi naman sige na rin, because there were things that we also want to test out, and there were ideas that we wanted to see kung ganun ba talaga, especially yung links ng national at saka local planning. And you will see here, medyo mababa, but ang ano natin is that we have to really be able to understand the area bago tayo makapagplano for that. And so that the baseline research is here, but this didn't mean original or primary data collection, but working on whatever you already have. So yung kung may CLUP, kung there are research or other information collected on behalf or for Tolosa, gagamitin natin yon. And then the second one is yung identifying the strategy focus. Like, kasi kung industrial parks, hindi yan pwedeng lahat. So the areas should be able to identify ano ba yung gusto niyang i-develop, and then to focus all the energies towards those. So and those that was done by matching the area profile with the development plan, also the different other plans. Nads, maybe paki-mute siguro nila kasi naririnig, nag-feedback ako. Can we, yeah, okay, sige. So kailangan i-match yung inyong yung what's in the area, tas ano yung plano, kasi pag na-match yon, we have a higher likelihood that the resources we need will be forthcoming, right? And of course, we had to meet with the constituencies para lang ma-affirm yung focus, yung strategy focus, and with different national and regional agencies minute yon. Then of course we had to mobilize linkages towards that. So yung mga NGAs nga, to explore different mechanisms para magawa ito. And then the project development module is when we actually do project work. The next slide just gives you an idea kung ano yung mga trabaho na kinaugnayan nito. And medyo marami siya considering that it's just 1 year. So sila Maricar, si Mambelia, si Saldi, sila Elizar, mukhang I think nagsawa din sila sa amin. Kasi lagi kaming nandun. And I remember that there was a time that the Manila team was in the region for, I think, almost 3 weeks. Of course, that time was divided between Salcedo and Tolosa, but that still means the commitment kasi to the project, and some of the activities were also joined. I also just want to show some of the some of the photos, kasi ganito ko na lang. I think this one is in Salcedo. Yan, this is with Mayor Erwin. This was the Doc Buway, if I'm not mistaken, this was the formal signing of the MOA. Na-sign na niya yon before, kasi hindi kami makaproceed without that. But we had to have something na nandun siya para may photo. Pero sinign din niya yan even beforehand. This is with Dr. Joe Bacusmo, the president of the Visayas State University, when we had the MOA naman, the MOC with VSU. This is probably Salcedo because it doesn't look like Tolosa, but this one is Tolosa, right? And these are, yikes, Tolosa. I recognize the JICA building. These are probably Salcedo events, and then these are the different meetings with regional agencies, with NEDA, DSWD, DTI, DA, DILG. Sino pa itong mga to? No. is that PCA? So hindi ko ano lahat, but we talked with all of those agencies to discuss the projects with Tolosa and Salcedo with them. Okay, so the phase 2 naman ay we had to do the finalization of project identification, we had to do project development and planning, and then sa implementation na and the advocacy and communication. Yeah, so yeah, sige. We will give you a copy of this slide by the way para ma-remember nyo, pero if I would recall, siguro almost every meeting we present some version of this, para this is our way. We are of the belief na kung gusto natin na tumaas yung ownership and appreciation for projects at yung kailangan mas maintindihan nila. So at every opportunity that we have, kailangan wag nating sayangin yon. Lagi nating gamitin yon na i-explain yung project. So that's what we did. And ito na yung dalawang outputs ng program. So we had the padayon sa pag-uswag, the padayon sa pag-uswag for Tolosa. That's the strategy paper. The strategy paper is maiksi lang. Pero ang strategy naman kasi is meant to be really crisp and pointed. So hindi siya kailangang malaki. Pero the program for the medium term, ang title for Tolosa is the Tolosa Integrated Enterprise Plan for Coconut Agro-Ecosystem Rehabilitation, Light Processing, and Eco-Educational Tourism Development. That was the medium-term program. Ito yung naging results. And if you would remember, at both opportunities, I think that was end 2015 and end 2016, merong presentation. And nung sa 2016 nga, there was a sort of a pledging session for Salcedo and Tolosa where we had the different regional and national agencies saying, okay, we will help. Of course, and NEDA became our taga-follow up. Sila yung nagpapasend na they were sending you forms na this is for your projects to be included, accomplish this. This is for DA, this is for so and so. The strategy paper, of course, articulates the LGUs and their communities' aspirations, complements other LGU plans, and it was not a substitute and constitutes an input to the economic development component of the broader comprehensive development plan. We were very clear from the start na hindi po to substitute to your CDP, pero pag ginawa nyo to, pwede na ito yung input nyo sa CDP, at least a big part doon sa economic part. And it reflects an industrial policy perspective. And what do we mean by industrial policy perspective? One is the choice of strategic focus. There is a strong enterprise approach that emphasizes integration, development of economies of scale, economic linkages, and innovation, institutional mechanisms for planning and implementation, and complementation of government action and market. So yun yung, of course, hindi lang yan talaga industrial policy, it's planning in general, but because of the strategic focus at saka yung enterprise approach, we'd say that ang taas-taas, ang lakas-lakas ng industrial policy component na iyon. Okay, and then of course, para lang maanon, dito yung sabi nyo, regenerate coconut production, develop fisheries, building a niche for sustained and profitable light processing of agro-fisheries, refocusing tourism to emphasize not just nature-based aspects, but the historical, cultural, and educational attractions as well. And set up an inclusive Tolosa Industrial Policy and Enterprise Development Coordinating Committee, which you did, and we hope to be able to taas you kung ano na yung update natin dyan. And then ensuring governance excellence for Tolosa. Of course, this is the strategy paper and also the focus. These are plans, right? So the implementation is of course, diba, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. But you were able to come up with this plan yourselves. Kami, ang ginawa namin ay tumulong kami how to word and to organize, but all the ideas were in fact Tolosa's ideas. So yeah, so basically that's the project. And right now what we're trying to do is document everything, and we have nasa advanced stages na kami noong pagbuo ng book. We call it From Mainstreaming to Localizing. Sorry, I don't have the latest rendition of the book cover, pero nag-iba na yan. It's Experiences in Strategic Integrated Planning, because we've got a feedback na hindi maganda, na parang to say experiments. It's like we experimented on Tolosa and Salcedo. But of course, the intent then there was not that we were the ones experimenting, but Tolosa and Salcedo were experimenting on strategic integrated planning. So yun, that's what we have for now as a review, as a refresher of the project. And itanong ko lang if you want, if there's anything you want to add. Otherwise, I will invite Ayo na to start the interview process. But Doc Buboy, Mayor Ophel, you might want to say something before we proceed.
And for a one-year project, you have accomplished a lot. It's really commendable. And I took note, and especially when I sat down as mayor in July, these are sound bases for the moving forward strategic directions for Tolosa. And ako na yung magbibig. For information, I'm happy. The process is a very good process na maging template ng Tolosa as a tool for use ng economic plan, planning for sustainable economic programs na. The programa na talaga na i-implement sa local. And ang na-identify na technology, especially now na pandemic, so tamang-tama, your project has built the resiliency of Tolosa in protecting and pakaahon what is the new and the next normal with this pandemic. So the process is a good tool, from baseline, because this is always what policy and planning is very important. Very sound personal mastery for the local community, so that the strategy or the activities that we will do to implement the strategy, it align and have basis, or we have a basis and we can track progress. Because of that, the baseline, identifying strategic focus, then LGU cannot do it alone, defining linkages, especially what are at the local. And I'm mentioning the issue as a very important project partner in this 1 year that the AER has worked in Tolosa and Salcedo. And currently, ang inaano ko nga, because as you did the planning, I look at 4 very important strategies. One is the agriculture, which actually now with the pandemic is the banner for local economic development. No other way but to really go on agriculture. And that's already identified. You already invested, and we will not reinvent the wheel because these are already documented. These are already tried and identified, not just with the local government, but with the entire stakeholders ng Tolosa. Look, agriculture as napakaganda ng agriculture, then moving to ecotourism, na sama na yung education dyan. And point, of course, for all of this is a better health outcome. So parang what you have done, the process of this strategic planning or localizing localizing industrial development planning. So it's importante tool para sa amin sa local. Kasi ang local will not stop, and I'm happy to announce, Joy, that our vision with July 2 we did the strategic planning is really aligned to what you have done, because our vision is to make LGU as the role model for strong local governance. And this is what the learning of the project, especially on the policy development and the governing part, that has been, and I'm happy that the team, bago lang ako, that's my day 2 of my being the mayor of Tolosa, my team for the strategic directions, look at your projects as very important baseline for coming up with the strategic direction. So we're in fact, most of the investments that you have done is part now ng aming ambition doc. Our ambition doc and aligning to the national with these developing mothers and also fishermen to come up with their parang pansarili, so that when these mothers, these women and also these fishermen, parang assured ang local government at saka yung municipality of their contribution to local economic development. Kasi na-investment ko. Ang ating lang challenge is the sustainability of the project that we have instituted during that. I think we need to revisit. It's after Yolanda's 2015 to now has already a lot happened. So yung ating baseline noon, madadagdagan ngayon, and that's good. Ang team nila ng Salvis, BO. I constantly working on this premise of the process that you have capacitated the local government that lead us move forward for our strategic direction. Na ako na ang nag-head as mayor. And at the same time, very crucial, kaya this happened na pandemic. Ang ating na pakagandang learning from the project is the building resiliency. Na makabangon agad and makabangon and nakaprepare kita should. And this pandemic is not a Yolanda type of disaster. This pandemic it's a virus, but it affects also our environment. It's a climate change challenge na
Okay. Nakat ba sila, Mayor?
Opo, parang naputol ata sila.
Oo, okay, sige.
alam is there
Ayan.
kasi yung team dito. Diba? Ha? Elisa,
So nag-drop kami dito sa election.
Okay, sige po. Yes po. Oo. Sige. So thank you po. Mayor, thank you. We will, at this point, ang dami na namin agad na sulat doon, na note. But I would like to introduce yung one of our contributors, si Ayo, kasi she prepared a set of interview questions. And papaunahan ko lang po, kasi Nadine and I will have to leave at 10:30, but that's That's almost 1 hour from now pa naman. So we will step out lang po by 10:30, but kung hindi pa tapos sila, Doc Buboy and the rest naman will be staying. So Ayo, please.
Ako walang masasagot.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Ayan.
yes.
Ayan. Good morning po sa lahat. Thank you for being here. Ito po, sisimulan ko na po yung formal interview. Actually, Mayor Ofelia, maraming salamat because when you were talking kanina, marami na kayong nasagot ng mga nasa aming tanong. Pero I would still follow the set of questions that we have prepared. Una po, jumping off po, ito pong Tolosa, as it deals with COVID-19 for its second year, are there similar strategies or fundamentals you have used on Pandayon with respect to the project planning and implementation? Titingnan lang po namin kung ano po yung capability ng isang fifth-class municipality in responding to such disaster. Mapag-usapan po natin yung realidad ng yung actual community, how it copes with the disaster na COVID. Pero example lang po yung COVID you would like to dwell on, okay rin lang po. So I think would help po sa tanong.
Kasi you know,
Another speaker.
sige. Unmuted na yan. So,
Unmuted.
unmuted. So,
Yeah, Doc Buboy and Mayor, narinig niyo po ba yon? Well, the first question is flash on the screen.
I think si Ayo should speak louder or closer to the microphone kasi hindi masyadong marinig Ayo.
Sige, Ayo, probably. Ulitin na quickly. Thank you.
Please, Ayo, kasi medyo hindi masyadong marinig kanina yung sinabi mo.
Yung tanong. Opo. Ayan. I'll be starting with the first question po. As Tolosa deals with COVID-19 for its second year, are there similar strategies or fundamentals you have used sa paggawa po ng strategy paper na Padayon with respect to project planning and implementation? Inaalam po lang natin dito yung
Sige,
kamusta po yung mga na nakuha or nakamit. Tapos ano po, kailan po siya naging crucial? Yung what worked to boost the situation at that point in time. Tapos po, to further break down yung tanong, kung hindi na yung napagplanuhan pero hindi naman natuloy na lumihis, what was resorted to? Ano po yung ginawa parang plan B? What was sustained? Kasi po yun, what was sustained by the local government and which led you to keep on succeeding?
Ayos, hindi masyadong marinig yung we'll put it on a speaker. Naghanap kami ng speaker.
Okay.
Kasi hindi masyado isa lang kasi yung ginamit namin na gadget, so we're setting up another one. No? So ano lang muna,
are you able to see the questions po?
Yes, makita namin yung yung questions. So, pero yung sinasabi ni Ayo, hindi masyadong marinig. So,
Mhm.
yun, maybe si Mayor can start answering the questions. I'll just put in the context muna, if that's okay with you, Ayo,
Opo,
na
opo.
kasi Mayor also has other appointments
Mm-mm.
this morning, para lang
Mhm.
we can proceed kahit na may oo, gusto narinig mo yun, Joy, gusto ni Mayor na siya sumagot.
Okay, yeah, of course.
Wait lang. Diba? Wait, Joy, wait.
So sige, they can hear you, Mayor. So
Okay.
dito lang siguro, just
Mayor,
stay.
question
Ni
kasi
Mayor.
yung tanong.
There.
Yeah.
So,
Madam pala ito. Partner in crime. Okay. Naririnig naman ang yung first about ano nga yung tanong?
Ano daw yung pagkaparehas later
Sa
strategies yung
okay.
ng COVID-19 naman.
Okay. Ang tatlong areas. Number one, the process, same siya, dinagdan ko lang ng scenario building para yung plausible fine. But if you look at the 11, okay. But ano yung strategic, the main, ang vision ng local government unit, as I mentioned, defined on making local government. Ano to yung,
sige.
yan, pwede na yan?
Pwede na po yun. There.
Parang nawala.
Yeah, I think they're going back using the other. Doc Buboy. We lost, I think we lost yung connection kay Mayor kanina, but we still see yung connection ng LGU Tolosa. We see it is a gallery.
Pero bakit siya mute? Wala silang boses.
Okay, parang walang... May audio ba siya, Nads?
Yes, meron po.
Sige. So, Doc Buboy?
I don't know po kung ano ito. Si Frank po ba to? Yung LGU Tolosa ang name?
I'm not sure, pero nandiyan
Ah.
si Doc Buboy eh. So, it's in the Tolosa Hall.
No, okay. Baka nga po ibang. We should have
Doc
audio, but I don't know if they can hear us.
Siguro mag-alis ako ng video para lang umayos yung bandwidth. So,
Pero dapat from their end din po yan eh. Isa to, ay sorry.
Wala sa si Doc Buboy. Wala.
Medyo mahirap ang ano natin, pero sige. I'll call them.
Or si Doc Buboy. Ay, naayos pa nila.
They can hear us daw. Pero, oo. So si Mayor, kasi nawala siya.
Yes, we can't hear you po. May nagsasalita po ba from your end?
Oo. It's good that you can hear us, pero wala po kami marinig from your end.
Unmute naman sila, kaya lang wala silang audio. Ganun. Ayun.
Mic test. Mic test. Joy, can you hear us now?
Yes, opo. May sound na po.
Okay, good. Pwede na lang
Okay. Narinig ngayon? Yung LGU, bubukan na ang mag-isa. Asan na yung LGU? Ano yung LGU? Ini. Yan na. Okay.
Hindi po, naririnig namin kayo now.
Very good. Very good. Thank you again. And ang tanong ngayon, ano yung current reality?
Okay naman yan. Okay naman.
Itong chat box. Okay. Okay. Again, thank you once again. Technology. Okay. Okay. Pag may mask, naririnig ko rin. Okay. Okay, so especially now with the new normal or the next normal, we are now on the second year of this pandemic. Ano yung tanong ay, are there similar strategies or fundamentals you have used on Padayang Pag-uswag? As I mentioned, yung proseso itself is being utilized dito sa local government ng project. Okay? Knowing yung realities, personal mastery, moving forward to coming up with the direction. If you look at the interventions that you have identified, well, of course, the focus has greatly shifted to health. Kasi health ang may problem ngayon. Although health ang ating issue, but there are three important factors that will affect the health outcome, yung COVID, at saka yung ating, yung Tolosa, Padayong Pag-uswag. So one, Padayong Pag-uswag itself na tool at baseline na very important, especially as I mentioned, the banner for local economic development is agriculture. And the project has shown that agriculture is, you use agriculture as the sector to come up with the local investment planning. Okay? So, paano na sa pandemic? As I mentioned, heavy siya sa health, pero ang ating focus pa rin para mabuhay tayo or there's food enough in the table is agriculture pa rin. And so, naka-align pa rin tayo with the project ng ating tayo pag-usap. Where in fact, yung aming thematic up to now is still padayon pag-uswag for Tolosa. It's a padayon pag-uswag to be healthier, progressive, and empowered Tolosa. So, ang sa akin, malaking foundation yung project in this development. Okay? And kumbaga sa akin, anuman ang nangyaring as current scenario, the project has actually helped local government to move forward para ano yung direction natin na ngayong pandemic. So the process is the same, which I mentioned, dinagdagan lang namin ng scenario building to come up with a more plausible. Pero ang lumabas, the same man din. Agriculture, tourism, kahit pandemic ngayon, kasi everything investment in the local become part of Tolosa, marketing Tolosa. So, tourism pa rin. And sa ngayon, as I mentioned, in agriculture pa rin yung ating because ang ating available resources ay marami kasi ang learning ng COVID, number one is we will rely on the local. Whatever we have in Tolosa as an opportunity, yun ang turo nyo eh. Maximizing opportunity and then reducing constraints. Actually, doon ang ating, kumbaga, no, hindi na natin isipin yun. So, ang opportunities right now is agri pa rin sa Tolosa para ang ating ekonomiya ma-maintain at ma-move forward natin. Of course, we wait for national government agency assistance, but the problem is we don't know when these assistance are coming. So yun nga, maximizing opportunities at the local. So ano yung mga opportunities which actually have been defined in the project? Number one, the linkages and the partnership. And then yung BSU, where in fact, with the pandemic, the BSU become now our research arm and capacity building arm for the local government. And this is the one that we're working with BSU. Okay? And yun yung one kasi yun nga yung ng project, learning project. I think yung kailangan natin tingnan with this pandemic is itong how to sustain yung investment like agriculture technology, yung capacitating yung mga fishermen, tapos yung may focusing on women and family para maging sustainable ang mga families, and the LGU to provide to govern, ma-facilitate, mabigay itong technology and services to the constituents. Able to plan, yes. Yun yung rely on what we have at the local, and then ngayon, ang mga project proposal namin, marami kaming ginagawa because we need support from national government and also private sector. Okay? So yun yung ating realities. Able to plan, yun nga yung we did the strategic plan, but nung nag-pandemic na up to now, kasi meron naman kaming local investment planning na annual, naka-context kami to the foundation and the baseline that we have done in the past, and then merging the current realities of having a pandemic as a scenario na yan ang ating na ma-prevent ang virus, pero
ang ekonomiya natin tuloy. How to link with actors, where in fact sa akin ngayon, nakalista na yung mga civic society organizations and of course BSU. Ito ang number one. And even we expanded to the faith-based organization. Ito yung trust kasi faith-based organization can help us with mental health and problem. Mental health, values, how can I survive? Kung mag-survive man ako, baka naman mayroong andon yung fear, uncertainty. This is really happening right now. Especially that the direction is vaccination. And then there are still people that mayroong fear to be vaccinated. So that's why yung networking na tool na ginamit natin sa project is a very good mechanism to also use para ma-involve yung ating mga interfaith communities in the locality. We even expanded support with other top national government organization like climate change, PPP centers, together with of course NEDA, and when with your help then yung project, we were able to present to NEDA yung atin namang local investment na masali tayo doon sa economic enterprise for Leyte na ginagawa. And although it's a developing, but ang aming framework pa rin na ginamit for yung investment that you have done for Padayon Pag-Uswan. Okay? The linking with actors, as much I think ngayon is AMOA, like sa issue, it's we have ang tool na ginamit namin is a memorandum of agreement na naka-stipulate kung ano ang partnership. But ang maganda, we're starting again with the baseline. Ano ang feasibility study for a sustainable marine program? Yan ang ginagawa namin ngayon with BSU. And directly looking at what the mine fits. Ano man laman ng mine? And this is the partnership that we have with BSU. Ano ang may heavy metals ba dyan? Na para naman maging healthy, ma-healthy yung tubig, pati yung kung isda ang ilalagay or tourism i-develop. Ibig sabihin, safe tayo. Kasi yun ang ating safe. Alam natin heavy metals effect sa health din. Okay? So ngayon, ano yung health? We are blessed that we have mga government intern program with DOLE. Kasi ang aming talagang weakness is writing. Number one, documentation. You know, things will not happen. Things not happen if they are not documented. And this is where we are, your technical assistance is we will rely on actually projects like the projects that you have. Mayroon nang ginamit man saldi na mga process eh. It's just who will write and capacity. Dito sa LGU, kunti lang may capacity to do the writing. To document, simple process documentation. Lalo na pag-develop ng monograph, medyo mabigat. And then next, natin may libro ngayon, di ba? Lalo na, ngayon, kailangan pag-develop ng project proposals. Sound project proposal para, siyempre, ang ating gusto, yung ating proposal ma-approve, di ba? And that's really one of our weakest point dito sa Tolosa. And also, yung capacity, because of the need for connectivity, interconnectivity is an issue right now. Kagaya ngayon, hindi tayo pwede mag-face-to-face, mayroong technology failure, lalo na kung walang connectivity. Because we need to network with partner through like this. Okay? So I think these are, again, three major. One is yung yung capacity to write para magkaroon ng mga sound monograph, magkaroon ng monograph sa sound proposal. Second is to be connected. And that's the challenge now because of the pandemic. And then, yung third ko, yung continuing partnership, na mayroon talaga siyang framework. Mayroon siyang, I mentioned the MOA as a tool, but ang ko dito is, challenge is, how do we scale up the project that in the past? The second, how do we sustain what intervention we have right now, considering the project investments? And then third, institutionalization. This book is already a policy tool, sort of a local policy.
Putol. Patay. Ano yan?
Oo, baka lang naghang. Let's wait. Tapos Ayo, alert me na lang if you want to flash the next question.
Sige, sa chat na lang.
Ba't nawala lahat? Hello?
Oo nga.
Yan, nandiyan pa si kaya na lang. nawala.
Nag-unstable. Yeah, they're joining.
Balik.
Ayan. Yan. Yeah, we can hear you again.
Okay, balik. Okay, so I was saying, yung challenge namin ngayon, yun nga yung capacity to develop documentation, project proposal. Medyo yan ang kailangan guidance namin dito. And then, second, yung connectivity issue. Yung makaling, not just national, but even within Tolosa. And then the third, yung continuing partnership with partners for scaling up, sustainability, and institutionalization. That's basically probably, at this point, ang pwede natin bang usapan or the project pwedeng may scale up na namin. Then when things don't go as planned, what was resorted? Ayan, hindi. So, I look at the agriculture. I think we need to revisit itong mga families na tinulungan natin. Kasi na-stop na yung paggawa ng isda. Yung fish processing. And kahapon, I was attended a Zoom. May dagat kita, may isda. Okay? Or anong meron na pwede natin magamit? Meron din mga iba nag-aquaculture para ma-process. So baka ito yung kailangan natin balikan yung mga investments, the technology itself na develop, and then makita din natin yung effect to their health. Kasi kung may kumikita ka na, siyempre may consciousness ka na maging healthy para mas lalong kumita. Okay? So then probably we need to revisit and identify what went wrong. Okay? Para naman maka-move forward tayo. Kasi ang aking gusto dito is ma-scale up, ma-sustain at ma-institutionalize. Okay, what was the sustained and led LGU to succeed? In our documentation, documents as local policy, as I mentioned, we were able to come up with the ambition doc na nga yung deep-rooted, domesticated Tolosanos. So ang mga investment na fishermen, kung ang value sa community, voluntarism in the community will be part of this family that have been invested with the project. That's a very good move already. So may mga initial foundation na tayong ginawa dito sa mga families na ito. Values nila, community, na we just need to revisit. And I think work with the families, anong para padayon mauswag. Okay? And yeah, and then let's also look at the policy. Baka kailangan natin ma-review yung mga policies na ginawa with the project para matulungan yung local government sa padayong pag-uswag ng Tolosa. And kung mayroon doon mga policies na kailangan baguhin, kasi ilang years na rin. In Yolanda ay 9 years na tayo next year. 8th year natin ngayon. So marami na nangyari. Usually ang programming natin is 5 years. So this is already like 6 years, 7 years na nangyari. 2015 tayo. So marami nang nagbago. At napaka-glaring itong pandemic. Okay? So I think maybe that's the way to move forward. But again, using go back to ano yung personal mastery, ano yung realities, then let's look at yung mga development identified natin kung okay pa. Pero when I look at, as I mentioned, agriculture pa rin eh. So agriculture focus. Pero ang isa kong gap din, the agriculture mismo capacity to develop local policy to operationalize then. Medyo ako feel gap ko yan na yung ating agri-team kasi ang HR natin din konti at ang capacity din to implement like yung rice, coconut, agri-fish, yung ating sa marine. I don't think yung capacity ng Municipal Agriculture Office makaka-level doon sa yung mga sinulat na project, no? Napakaganda yung natin, yung coconut production. Ang akin nga lang sinasabi, let's accredit all the cocoa farmers as a first base. And then how we will work with PCA and BSU and BISCA especially. Di ba? Ang BISCA kasi marami ng mga studies na ginawa, we will not reinvent the wheel, but use them for moving forward or having this coconut. Para nawala itong mga coconut natin ngayon. Siyempre, nag-pandemic nga, di ba? Pero nandun pa rin yung coconut, but we don't, na rin natin, yung maka-intercrop tayo, which is again still the direction. May coconut, mag-intercrop tayo. And that's actually what you have written in the project. Ganon din yung fisheries. So kaya nga, working with BSU, now we start with feasibility study for a sustainable marine program. May mga little studies na kami that we're looking at. And then, itong agri-fisheries, yun nga, kung sabi ko nga, sana ngayon, nagmamarket na kami, industriya na sana ng fish products din eh. Kaya may na naman, mayroon kita ingredients dito eh, it's here. And may capacity naman, and we can partner with CTI, with DOST, and DA, or TESDA, kasi capacity at BFAR, kasi dito capacity ang kailangan naman. Okay. Yung technology like paggawa ng smoked fish, dried fish, packaging, labeling, putting nutritional content, medyo magdidetalye kita on this. I think industrial policy, and I think will also yung ating liaison, I'm looking forward kung ano na ang project ng NEDA for the late economic development for the enterprise, yung copper ba? Anyway, nasali, thank you to AER, nasali ang Tolosa as part of the project. Pero I don't know kung umabot na nga doon sa RDC. Pero kasi nasa subcommittee siya noon eh. Hindi na kami na-involved kasi nag-launch, after the launch, wala na yung discussion. But it will be good na yung pag-develop na talaga ng industry and involving the private sector using the PPP center as the framework kasi meron na naman sila and yung 6 nito Doc Buboy at saka Joy at saka sa inyo na team sa AER is yun nga yung governance kasi directly we cannot provide the direct services. We will work with the barangay for a successful intervention. Hindi pwedeng munisipyo, ito gawin mo family. May layer ka of an LGU, which is a good opportunity, sila ang nagpro-provide ng service, silang gumagawa ng batas. Ang LGU barangay. Dito,
Well, naghahang lang siguro, pero babalik ulit sila. I will flash the second question and or mga related naman no?
Thanks.
Ayun,
Joy, preparation. Ayun. Habol. Thank you.
I have said so much.
I'm
And I
sorry.
hope, meron pa, on hindsight, given the learning and successful launch of guidance, what will be the focus of the challenge? What can be put in place in preparation for disaster? Okay. Ito ang medyo isa naming gap. Kasi yung aming disaster na libro, from the preparation to response to rehab, building back better. Kailangan talagang tulungan. Kahit ako, hindi ko palagi kumahawakan. Yung concrete sectoral plan on disaster. And that's why I'm asking the team and then technical na nag-request na ako sa province para matulungan. They are very good in response, no doubt about it. Pag mayroong mga accidents, may ganitong pandemic, sila talaga yan itong Pero doon sa like preparedness, even lang sa akin, I'm looking for, halimbawa, baha, pag red na siya, orange ka, yung mga ganun ba, mga para madali pati yung sa early warning, saka communicating, para ma-prepare. Oy, wala na ngayon. Kailangan lumisan na kayo dyan. Yung mga ganon. We're still very weak on this. Plano pa lang, hindi pa operationalization. So much more in how to operationalize. So I think kailangan tingnan.
Hello? Ay, yun, nawala nga ulit.
Pero bumabalik naman sila.
Anong internet dyan sa sa Tolosa? Smart.
Ay, not sure po.
Hindi ko alam kung ngayon. Kasi kahit naman meron yung strength, iba, di ba? Pero okay lang sa inyo how it's going. Okay din naman na pag-sign natin sila. Tapos if we need to do follow up doon na sa mga kanila Saudi, we'll just schedule.
Oo.
But
siguro pwedeng may backup in case kay Sir Buboy.
Nads, message them. At least si Doc Buboy. Ay!
I think they're trying to connect po. Ayan. But wala pa ang audio.
Yes, LGU Tolosa.
Sorry
Okay na.
nasa governing na tayo.
Oo.
Ang ibig ko sabihin, ang LGU is the governing body or facilitator or steward para makarating itong programa at serbisyo doon sa pamilya. May layer tayo ng barangay. So we will work, the governing natin is we work with the barangay para ma-reach natin ang community. Ang magandang opportunity, ang barangay, sila nagbibigay directly ng services. Sila din ang gumagawa. Ano pa? Kadang mo lang sinabi ko. Ha? Actually, tapos na ako. Ayan. Mayroon pa.
Okay, maybe
What
Aya.
can be the what can recommendation? Link with higher. What can be put in place prior to the preparation? Ako magplano tayo. Although naka-move ahead kami to come up with a COVID program plan, COVID. Meron kami, and then there's an institution, yung anong kaya? Ayan, sige. Okay, para mas magandang connectivity. Ang sa atin, yung disaster, the planning process itself for disaster is disaster rin dito. Hindi, totoo. Ang atin ay, they are good in response. Walang no doubt about it. They can do it. But siyempre, kailangan meron ka rin planong maganda to execute preparedness, response, during, and then rehabilitation for building back better. Yun nga yung maging resilient talaga ang aming disaster mismo. Yan. Because what can be recommended, remove, mechanism, process, form as this just hinder. Yung proseso na sinasabi niyo, lalo na yung baseline. Sa akin, importante siya, mag-area-based planning na kami with the barangay ngayon. Consalvi can use that as a template para mas strategic ang magawang focus ba. Kung doon sa, kung nagplano tayo ng barangay, ngayon ng munisipyo, we will be planning customized to the barangay. Hindi all fits to all barangay. So, kaya nga may 15 barangays, we're going to have an area-based plan. And magamit natin ito. What will be the challenges? Anong challenges man Saldi? Experience, reflection, bonds on the ground, stories that pick up for synthesis, and practical problem solving recommendation. Ako sa akin, siguro number 1, HR pa rin. Kasi infrastructure-wise, medyo nandyan siya. Ang aking bottom line, magamit yung services na ano siya, comprehensive. Hindi yung pupunta ka lang dahil sa health, but titignan talaga yung family. Una, healthy siya, hindi siya magpo-COVID. Pangalawa, buhay siya, ang pamilya. So, kasama agriculture services, welfare services, pagbigay. So, kung anong meron sa pamilya, yun ibigay na services natin. So, customized to the family and we work to the barangay. Para ang sinasabi ko lagi din na ang national program, ilan yan na national, na lahat yan LGU mag-i-implement. Pero napansin ko dito sa pagdating sa local government, sana bago ibaba sa LGU, mayroong integrated framework ang DILG. Kasi sila man ang aming, kumbaga, aming ang organization that works for the local government. Maging good governing body kami, di ba? So, yun ang inaano ko sana na like yung health, welfare, agriculture, they have their own policies, ang dami-daming programa. Pero wala siyang integrated framework pag-abot din eh. So depende na yan kung masasalo mo, like na-notice ko, napaka-importante ng energy program. Pero walang nagtatouch yan dito. Climate change is a very important oversight because environment, agriculture, all this tourism can be part of that climate change. And baliktarin din natin, ang tourism equals everything that we do na programa becomes tourism for Tolosa, including HR, mga tao Tolosa, infrastructure, and itong mga programa that we're doing. And again, yan yung ano ko siguro, that integrated framework na pagdating dito. And I think that's where the local government, kung hindi pala masalo ng LGU, di wala siya. Okay? Sa daming programa sa national. Okay? And they're very good. Very good. Like I've been listening to DTI, DOST. Ang dami nilang research na ginawa for economic technology. Ang gaganda. Pero bakit hindi natin magawa dito? How do we use it? Di ba? Minsan, hindi pa natin alam na simple ano naman ang TESDA that will help us capacitate. So, pero hindi ito bahala na ang LGU mag-integrate. I think because autonomy nga eh. Pero I think that integrated framework for technical assistance, para nga, programa dito, integrated din, naka-interrelate sa bawat, kasi interrelated naman siya. Then ganun din, itong programa, pagdating sa family, maging services, hindi na siya program. Servisyo na. Okay? So ano pa next? Ako itong tanong na mata. Sige daw, mayroon pang tanong bago ako mag-exit muna. Wait, okay, process.
Do you want to ano?
Start. Mayroon kasi akong 10 o'clock na vaccination.
Ayaw, meron kang habol for mayor kasi otherwise, pwede natin, we can let mayor go. Unless may last question, then we can have sila Salvi, and Belia.
Yeah, I agree with you. Kasi the questions were structured pero nasagot naman even this last question nasagot na ni Mayor Belia. So I guess yes, we can let her go, and then yung mga sinazaldi na ang can give us more information and background. Hello?
As I want to stay. To me, this is continuous learning. Hindi ko sinasabi marunong ako nito lahat. But you know, I've been...
Oo, Joy, pwede ipaabot na lang sa kanila through Doc Buboy na okay naman po. No, we are happy with the answers. Sina-cover naman niya even this last last question.
Sige, I'll try to contact them.
Yeah, I will excuse myself, pero nandito naman sila. Of course, the FPDO, yan ang aming, kumbaga, na organizational, nandito si Maricar, kasi tourism na ang equals ng agri. At si Belia.
So, paano kaya? I have to also go. Okay, sige. Okay pa. Okay, sige. Okay.
At saka issue, nandito ang issue.
Okay, maraming salamat, Mayor. Maraming salamat. You were able to answer all the questions, and we will be continuing on po. Thank you.
Maraming salamat.
the rest of the Tolosa gang at saka yung VSU, and then andyan si Doc Buboy. Nads, if you can please turn the hosting function kay Doc Buboy.
Sige po. Okay.
Pwede kaya? Oo. Pwedeng, if you can
Wala
make,
kasi siya dito eh. I can make the LGU Tolosa account host.
or baka pwedeng si Ayo?
Ayo. Oo, kay Ayo na lang.
Pwedeng si Ayo. Ayo, can you host?
Yeah, oo. Ayan, host
Ay,
na po.
sorry. Yeah, oo. Mm-mm.
Oo. Tapos kasi I really have to go. Si Nadine also have to go. Yeah, but we will continue. At least andito pa naman si alam ko si Clark will have to go soon, pero at least there are a few more minutes. So negotiate the time then with Dr. Buy and the rest. Is that okay?
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Okay, I will
So,
start sharing also. Sorry yan.
ayan.
Sige, Doc Buboy, off to you na. Nads, I'll take my leave. Mauna pa ako kay Mayor bigla. Sige, Mayor.
Pero Nadine,
Bye-bye.
paano yung
Okay, see you
recording?
again soon.
Sabi ko nga sa kanila, Joy, na aalis mo na, hindi yung empowered women, pero talagang powerful women, aalis muna.
Siyempre naman. Sige, Doc Buboy ha. I mean, I'm sure the discussion after this will be very lively, but I really have to leave po. But I will see all of you again soon.
Sinabi ko nga